Morning, everyone. Just seeing people filter in. Just going to wait 30 seconds to a minute just to let everyone in, and then we'll kick off. All right, that's 10:31. A few more people just joining, but we are recording the session this morning, so anyone that misses any of it can catch up on the link that we'll provide afterwards. So, very good morning. As you've probably seen, we are the launch webinar for the SIDEKICK product, which went live as of last week. I'm here co-hosting with my Pragma product hero, Andy Herring.
Morning, everybody. I thought you was going to call me your sidekick then, Tom.
Well, we worked out who's the hero and who's the sidekick here, but I'll deviate to you. So a session is going to run about 60 minutes or so. We'll try and keep it as focused as possible. But any questions that you have, we'll be answering them towards the end. So if you can just pop them in the chats section, and then Helen will be monitoring those as we go through, and we'll cover them towards the end. So in terms of an agenda then, content today primarily going to be focused, as you would expect, around the launch of SIDEKICK, but just wanted to kind of start by touching on some of the foundation of AI and why it's important to approach and apply it, I guess, in the right way via intelligent applications. We're then going to move into the SIDEKICK product itself. We'll do a full kind of feature rundown between Andy and myself, and then I'll head off with a demonstration as well. And then we'll finish up the session by basically doing a little bit of a recap of the Connect proposition. I know many of you have seen it already, but again, I think it's good just to have it refreshed in people's minds along with the SIDEKICK conversation, and finish with any questions that you might have. Brilliant. So just to start off with then, we looked to try and kind of capture some image that would best represent kind of jumping on the bandwagon. It looks like we've ended up with something like this from the Oregon Trail, but that bandwagon is very much obviously AI. It's a buzzword that's obviously been thrown around quite a bit recently, whether you look at LinkedIn, comms business, and other industries as well. And I sometimes feel like it's kind of positioned at the moment as this kind of magic wand to kind of solve all problems from obviously other elements outside of our industry, like obviously cancer treatment, life-saving medical breakthroughs, renewable energy, kind of saving the planet. And that's all kind of very well, but in our industry, we need to kind of make AI or artificial intelligence make sense and kind of add value specifically to that everyday customer. And I think it's true already, you can't really move for people talking about AI, even if we just take OpenAI as an example. That intelligence is the one that ChatGPT is based on. Sure, everyone obviously had to play with ChatGPT, and it can do some really clever stuff around image manipulation, writing presentations, even kind of planning your itinerary for your next holiday. But there are stats that actually highlight the importance and the volume of AI. We can see here that just using the OpenAI source alone, there's about 100 million active weekly users, and that they're operational in about just under 160 different countries, with the market expected to grow at a rate of over 31% in the next 12 months. That's obviously a huge growth year on year. And could we do obviously a lot of research and analysis with the guys at Cavell, and through their recent research, they've seen that obviously the need to gather data in relation to AI, and there is a lot of information relating to how suppliers are, and manufacturers like Ericsson, LG are focusing on AI as part of their portfolio. Here's just an example of what you can see when customers are considering what their biggest challenges in the near future are going to be. AI and obviously its impact on the workforce, as you can see there, is #1 concern. So if you guys can go into a meeting willing and able to demonstrate that we obviously can address the issue head on, you'll really steal a march on the competition. And try not to beat you over the head with statistics on a Thursday morning, but thought this one was really worth sharing as well. These are the things that buyers see as potential benefits that AI specifically will bring to their organizations. I can see many areas here, I'm sure Andy will agree, where our products and services are already kind of designed and impacting those particular areas. But even if I just take the top two here as an example around things like efficiency, productivity, and data management and analysis, through the portfolio of both Connect, Engage, and obviously what we're going to talk about today in SIDEKICK, I think that covers that basis even in the top echelon really, really well. And I know some of you might have attended our recent Ideas Lab event, where our sales director, Will, talked about the idea of how we can flip AI and introduce the concept of intelligent applications instead. And we do believe that this is the way forward in taking a lot of the complexity that AI can perhaps sometimes represent and making it easier for you to offer something new to your customers that will genuinely enhance their everyday communication and your proposal as a side product. And I think we shouldn't also forget that all of this is possible because both the AI element and the Ericsson LG IPECS APIs are working seamlessly together. I've already talked a little bit about the kind of use and the application of AI in our industry, but I think that only works when you have a stable bedrock of a communications platform to build it on. And I think Andy would agree that Ericsson LG are hearing your feedback and making more and more options available for the development of their API. Sorry, would you say that's fair, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very clear that Ericsson LG are very much listening to the channel at the moment in terms of the direction that technology is going, and have a huge focus on making sure that we maintain, but also improve the API side of things where we can. Anything we can do to expand that, we will be.
Exactly, and your continued feedback on that front is really, really valuable.
Yeah,
so as we obviously move through the launch of SIDEKICK and further on, it's really imperative that you keep sharing that with us. And we obviously love being disruptive as well to our competition. And obviously Connect and SIDEKICK together becomes about getting kind of the engagement from that six-figure Salesforce project that you're speaking to your customer about that they've deployed, and getting a massive return on investment on that. Or it could be hitting those kind of key KPIs in a support team that they're targeted on. So again, just allowing you to have different kind of conversations. So that's the kind of idea at a more top level. I'm going to hand over to Andy now, just to basically go through the more product focused section, and then we'll kick off with the demo.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So yeah, I mean, really down to the sort of main reason we're all here today to talk about SIDEKICK, which, as Tom said, we launched just over a couple of weeks ago now. If you can pop onto the next slide for us, please, Tom. So obviously Connect as a product has been around for a while now. We launched that back in October of last year. We've got just around about 1,000 subscribers at the moment live, and that's increasing month on month. And the whole intention with the Connect product was always to augment it with new interesting plugins. So you've obviously seen, hopefully, I would say everybody's seen Engage, which we launched earlier this year, and SIDEKICK is the product for me, the plugin that kind of really escalates this product to the sort of next level. So in terms of what does it deliver, this product is all around transcription. It's based initially on our call recording. There is a plan at some point. We're just working through some technicalities in the background, but there is a plan to bring voicemail into this as well. So what you're seeing on the screen here would apply long term to both call recording and voicemail. But today it's call recording. What we're able to do is provide the individual or supervisor with the ability to view the call recordings or the calls that are available to be transcribed. That's then done manually. There's a button click, which Tom will go through some of this when he walks through the dem, but basically the transcription is in your control, so there's no automation here. When we do the transcription, you can see on one of the screenshots we've got here, sorry, if we can just, yeah, that's it, sorry. you can see on the screenshot we've got here, not only do we have the option to click on the transcription, but the nice thing about this is we get the summary part of it as well. So we get the sentiment analysis, which is hopefully your smiley face on every call. We get a summary of what the call was about, and then we get the meeting notes and next steps. This example you can see on screen here. Again, Tom's going to walk you through some more detailed examples. This is quite a short call, so I'll confess I put this screenshot in quite last minute this morning. So I just wanted to bring something in to sort of give a flavour of what it looked like. But we also have the ability, as you can see in the top screenshot here, to look at leaderboard as well. So if you can click onto the next slide for us, Tom. So the leaderboard thing is important because there's two ways in which your customers can consume this product. So I've got a couple of screenshots here again, just to highlight that. So the bottom screenshot shows this as an embedded tab within Connect. So the customer either already has Connect or you're selling Connect net new to a customer, and we're adding Sidekick as a licensable element within that. So as a user, that's how I would see Sidekick if I was using it within Connect. However, there is the option where a customer doesn't need or want or have the requirement for any of the other elements of Connect to be able to consume this as a standalone product, in which case we would just issue a standalone URL, which is just for Sidekick, and that is shown in the top screenshot there. Essentially, you're seeing all of the same recording information that you would get within the tab within Connect, but where this differs is you can set up supervisors, for example. So it might not be particularly clear on that screenshot. I do apologize, but the sort of third tab down says users, and then below that we've got teams. So if I've got like say for example here at Pragma, I've got a tech support team, I've got an order processing team and a sales team. I would, as an admin, go into Sidekick. I would replicate those teams, set up the users, and then I can create supervisors for each of those groups or supervisors for multiple groups. And then what that allows you to do is, beyond the individual level, that supervisor is then able to search for members of their team and view call recording transcriptions for multiple people, not just themselves. And then what that leads into is the ability to see a leaderboard, which I appreciate can sometimes have negative connotations when you talk about leaderboard. It's sort of competitive, but what it's doing really is it's giving you a snapshot, and you're able to see, who's not necessarily performing the best, but it allows you to see instantly, where the who's getting the best sentiment, who might be taking a dip week on week. But it allows you then to sort of dive into those calls, because it might not just be, I see Tom's the sentiment has dipped from last week. It's not because he's necessarily doing a bad job, but it allows us to dive into those calls. Tom might have had 2 or 3 really difficult calls during the week with difficult customers, and then we're able to look at the transcriptions for those. So hopefully I've done a good job of sort of talking through how we can consume this product. So as I say, top level summary, we either embed it as a tab within an existing or new Connect rollout, or if the customer wants to, they can just consume it through the standalone URL. The URL will always be present, by the way, because that's where the admin is done. So when we roll this out, there will always be a nominated admin who will have access to the standalone URL.
Brilliant.
Next slide.
Thanks,
I think
thanks,
is it
Andy.
back to it's back to you. Good. Okay, no pressure, Tom.
So obviously Andy's given us some good kind of top level overview. Yeah, thought it'd be worth obviously showing it in kind of real life, if you like. So I'll just flip the screen share over, and that should hopefully come through and show you the interface. So again, a lot of you will be fairly familiar with the Connect interface. Obviously, I've got this kind of out in a web app, if you like, but you can absolutely run this obviously in a Chrome or another browser should you wish. And again, most of the elements down the left-hand side here will be fairly familiar to you if you've had a Connect demo or you've got it in-house. The element of SIDEKICK we're adding in here is in the bottom left here. I've just got it open already just to detail it. And as Andy said, in the future, we'll have the capability to extend this into voicemails. But in the example that you're seeing at the moment, this is the live version that we have at Pragma, where we're just focusing mainly on call recordings. So just to start with, this is basically my list of call recordings. Me as a single user, this is pulling out my call recordings and show it to me as an individual user. As Andy touched on, in the future, we'll have access to the supervisory view where we're viewing multiple people's call recordings and we can set up permissions accordingly. We've still got searchable and filterable details at the top, so searching by number, start and end time, of course, there as well. And these will just be listed down here for you, as you can see. Now, you'll notice on the right-hand side here that some of these I've already what we call processed. So by actually processing one of our call recordings, we are either doing a simple transcription, so basically converting it to the written word, or actually adding some of that AI intelligence to it, where it's not only summarizing the call for us, but providing any actions or any meeting notes that we need out of it as well. So again, this is going to be attached to any call recording that you have. Obviously, ones that are less than a few seconds long, you're probably not going to have anything generated out of it, but you'll always have what we call like a processed bank here as well. So if you've processed a couple, and again, the actual processing procedure takes about 10-15 seconds or so, and they'll basically be presented in your processed database, if you like. So I've got a couple here as an example, nothing too incriminating on here, I don't think. I'm just going to pick out one that I know I did a couple of weeks back with one of my colleagues. In fact, it was one of my partners here. So at a very basic level, here's the transcription of the call I had. So a very short call, was about 2 minutes long, but I was agreeing to meet one of my partners in Watford. We were going to a customer meeting. We agreed to meet at 2 o'clock. You can obviously pick most of that out from the transcription there. And again, at a very basic level, we can absolutely copy that out of the window that we have here, put it in an email, push it back to a CRM, etc. But the clever bit, the AI element, is obviously within the summarization. So I gave you a kind of a very top level view of what that transcription is about. But what if we just let the kind of AI side of things do it for us? And that is very much what SIDEKICK is all about. It's providing a more efficient and a more automated way of summarizing a call recording or a voicemail in the future for a supervisor typically, or even individual agents that are handling support calls or sales calls to, oh, what was that call about? I know I had to take some detail from that. So in terms of the content, provides a summary breakdown. As you can see here, this was obviously a fairly short call, so there's only one line in this summary here, but based on a longer call that's perhaps 5-10 minutes, you'll likely have 2 or 3 lines, maybe a full paragraph worth of summary. The meeting notes, in this particular example, I confirmed with the partner I was seeing that we were meeting at the Starbucks across the road just before 2 o'clock, and what products we were going to actually show the customer. So in this case, it was Connect and the SIDEKICK add-on, so we were going to show them how that works. And next step, so after the meeting, I had a couple of actions. So I had to, the partner I was speaking to was going to request some of the brochures and videos from me, and then plan to follow up in a couple of days. So again, as you can see, I've not had to do any of this manually. It's ready there for me as a supervisor or as an agent to take those actions. And again, we can copy this structure into an external source or back to a CRM if we need to. Andy also touched on the sentiment analysis as well. This is based on a 1 to 10 score, I think sits in the background. What I find really useful about the about the sentiment analysis is actually, although it may give you an overall sentiment analysis, it does pick out some criticism in there. So in a customer where they are speaking to a support team, where they've got a frustration that they're speaking to the support team about, if overall the problem was solved, that'll be denoted in here. So elements of frustration, but overall the problem was solved, something like that. Again, that will be based on the sentiment score as well. So not just kind of your plain kind of happy or sad kind of rating. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, it's quite simple, but again, the value I think is there as quite a visual product. I've demoed this several times already, and actually it's something really visual that you can show customers in a fairly short space of time, and that they tend to just get it. Just to quote one of my colleagues, it tends to blow my mind. It seems so simple, but actually it's a really effective tool in creating an add-on to a solution that obviously we're proposing in IPECS Cloud. That's something we can just add to that as a value add. Anything else to cover?
Sorry, I was just going to say, Tom, I think it's just worth adding to that, really good overview. But I think in terms of how the sort of supervisor element differs to this, which obviously you haven't got on the screen, but ultimately the view looks very much the same. So the supervisor would be going in via the Sidekick URL. The difference being that they would still see their call recordings, but they would have the ability to search for a particular individual. So if they're the supervisor of, say, 5 or 6 people, they'll just put a search into the search window, and they would be able to see their different users.
Perfect. I'm sure we'll have an update on that as soon as that's available for you guys as well. Excellent. Okay, we'll leave the demo there for now. Obviously, feel free to put any questions in on the demo element. We'll just finish up the slide work.
Tom, there is actually a question. It says, can you search by keyword?
As I understand, Andy, that's coming in the not too distant future. Am I right in saying that?
Correct.
Yeah. So next, I think of the similar rollout time frame that we have for the supervisory view, that's coming imminently.
So sorry, just to be clear, the supervisory aspect is here today. That's accessed via the URL. But in terms of keyword search, yeah, there's going to be a number of enhancements coming through. We're doing quarterly rollouts at the moment. So when I get to the roadmap, you'll sort of see the timescales we're talking about in terms of rollout.
Excellent. Thanks, Andy. So obviously supporting the launch of SIDEKICK, obviously it's available to order now. We have some supporting collateral in the hub. I'm sure you're all fairly aware of the hub. If not, reach out to your account manager. We'll obviously get you set up. But there's a direct amount of resource there in terms of things supporting the SIDEKICK rollout, mainly around things like brochures. If you're doing your own marketing as well, there's things like logo files and other imagery that you can pull for in terms of creating your own posts. And what we do have coming, Helen and Raf are busy working on a toolkit similar to how we've had with the analytics tool, I think, in the past, where we'll have sales guides and other useful bits of information to support your general rollout of SIDEKICK across your bases, any new customers that you're speaking to. Andy, just back to you. I know a lot of partners are already fairly used to the proposition of Connect. I just thought it's worth just covering off just to finish the session.
Yeah, absolutely. No harm in doing a bit of rinse and repeat on this stuff. Absolutely. So, yeah, as I said, Connect has been around now. We went live back in October of last year, just around about 1,000 live users already. If you can just sort of pop onto the next slide for us. I think, from day one, we were very keen to sort of position this as not being a replacement for IPECS 1. That was never the intention of this product. This is much more about integrating at the desktop. So whether it is integrating to CRM products such as SAP, or whether and HubSpot for that matter, or whether we're looking at integrating to other desktop tools. So a good example for me is that I use Asana as a project management tool. So I have that integrated back end on Connect, and just allows me almost think of it as like another calendar view, really. So I've got my calendar tab within Connect. I also have an Asana tab, which looks very similar and shows you sort of upcoming tasks, anything that's overdue. And the great thing about things like the Asana ClickUp, Clockify type plugins is you just got one click, takes you into that particular application within your browser environment. So yeah, this is very much about delivering out-the-box integrations. Almost like over time, you'll see the applications tab within Connect almost becoming a little bit like an app store, in so much as new out-of-box integrations are added, they will naturally be pushed to and appear within the list of apps that's available. But in addition to the sort of out-of-box approach, those sort of widely available products, is the ability for us to work with you, our partners, and your customers to pick up some of the more bespoke, niche, one-off, however you want to put it, integrations. So I think I'm not going to go into loads of detail, but I think we've all seen the cow on the screen, and we've probably heard about this a lot, but it was a great example of how if there's an API available, we can work with the guys at CoSoft and develop an integration. We've got things like Vincherry going on as well. So this is about looking for opportunities and kind of being, the only restriction here is kind of our imagination. When we talk to the CoSoft guys, their overriding kind of thing with this is if it's got an API, we will probably be able to do some form of integration. All I would say is the key thing here is around that conversation with the customer. What are we trying to achieve? What is it the customer needs to do? And that we're very clear in the scope that we're presenting to CoSoft. And they're a pretty agile team. We're getting initial kind of feedback and scopes produced within 2 to 4 weeks at the moment. So it's a nice quick turnaround, and I would encourage everybody on the call to be having those kind of conversations with your customers, looking for these opportunities, spread the word amongst your team, because the real strength of Connect is around the ability for us to achieve these integrations. If we look at SIDEKICK, for example, Tom, we've already got probably 2 or 3 opportunities where customers are looking to be able to pull that transcription and analysis stuff and push it back into a CRM. So
it's almost all connected, isn't it? To be a bit cliche.
And that's, I suppose is a bit of a clue in the name, right? It's why, we went down that sort of naming convention path. But the point here is let's not be restricted by, we can't do that today, because we've got a team of people behind this that are pretty switched on and clever, and there's stuff that we can do. So yeah, for me it's very much about the integrations and the opportunity that provides us.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's not all either. Obviously we've got a fairly robust roadmap coming out, some of the elements that you've obviously talked about already, but some others as well. Yeah,
exactly. So, obviously Engage has been around for a while. Hopefully everybody's aware of that. That's our web chat product, the ability to do what is AI-based chat in that as well on going back to your theme earlier on in the call, Tom. But, that's a great product. It allows us to also be able to set up voice and video calls of agents directly from a customer's website. SIDEKICK, obviously the main theme of today, which we've launched. Next up for us, we've kind of so we had a meeting on this, just so everybody's aware. This week we've provisionally agreed to look to go live with the WhatsApp plugin from the beginning of July. We've got some cogs to turn and switches to flick, back end, just to get everything finally set up. But we're pretty confident that that's going to be available. If not at the beginning of July, certainly early in July. So look out for another webinar on that, because, similar to SIDEKICK, it'll be another plugin, another way for customers to be able to bring another communication stream into Connect, in terms of how they interact with their customers. We're working with CoSoft on some AI-based music on hold, marketing on hold functionality at the moment. That's still very much to be finalized. There's some work that needs to be done on that. We would be looking, I would suspect at the moment, around the September kind of time frame, and that's got some neat AI whizzy bangy kind of features in it as well. Like being able to take a sample of your voice, and then that AI is able to generate information messages based on your voice without you recording anything. It's Skynet pretty mad. But if anybody wants to see examples of that, just go onto Google at the moment. There's people taking samples of, I think I saw one the other day, it was Ozzy Osbourne, and someone taken a sample of his voice using AI, and he's doing a Mariah Carey cover or something crazy like that. And it's ridiculous how close this stuff is to the real person. Around a similar kind of time frame, sort of late August, early September, we're looking to bring in the ACD login agent functionality that we've currently got in IPECS 1, and being able to drop that into Connect as well. So really enhancing that sort of informal contact center type approach within IPECS Cloud. So being able to use the ACD and the analytics functionality, but then also, keeping with an eye on the fact we've got Sidekick and we'll have WhatsApp and we've got Engage, being able to have a really nice informal contact center approach to the product. And then, we've got this catch-all of integrations. But as I said, the point about this product is to keep expanding our horizons in terms of the integrations that are available through the product. So, yeah, we've got some fairly definite roadmap items in terms of WhatsApp, Music on Hold, ACD coming sort of up to and around September. I'm working with the CoSoft guys at the moment and to develop that roadmap out over, the next 2 or 3 quarters beyond that. So again, either through me or through Tom and the rest of your account managers, you'll see some of that roadmap information coming through.
Watch this space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, so just to finish up, I guess, with the kind of lifetime value, and I think a lot of it kind of speaks for itself, but, our partners, rightfully so, are always asking us, what's next? What is the next thing that we can show to a customer? And I think we've obviously shown a lot of this on the functionality side, but you're right, it is very much just another kind of conversation that we can have. And if we aren't talking about it, then no doubt someone will be. The AI conversation is inevitable, which is, again, I think how I've kind of introduced the call, how we're applying it and how we're actually adding value to that customer. Because for you guys as businesses, it's not just the connect piece, it's not just the Sidekick piece, it's your whole picture, right? It allows you to have more conversations introduced in your mobiles, in your PCI, even if you're doing energy, connectivity, all the rest of it, the kind of longevity, the long-term value in you having that customer and making them more sticky. I hate that word, but more sticky of a customer, that's what we're all in for at the end of the day. So the connect and the Sidekick piece is just another arm to that, allowing you to kind of build and increase that value long term. So that's pretty much it from us. I think we covered all the kind of major beats in terms of a summary. Andy's obviously covered all the exciting roadmap side of things as well. Any other general questions did we have in, Helen?
Yeah, Malcolm asked a question actually. So he's saying that does the call recording work from the 3 months free storage, which it does. So obviously if somebody's just using the free 3 months call recording, yes, you will have that ability if you've got a Sidekick license to be able to transcribe them. But he asked if they disappear after the 3 months if you've transcribed a call.
So I was actually just busy typing a response, but I thought I'd just wait until we finished on that one, Helen. Yeah, so you're right in terms of it. This is based on call recording, so it doesn't matter what flavour of recording you've got. What does matter is the length of recording type that you've got. If it's okay, I'm going to come back on this because I don't want to commit myself to something that might be slightly incorrect. But my understanding today is that providing you have clicked that button to do that transcription and do the sentiment, then that's available through Sidekick. Obviously, if you haven't and then call recordings are disappearing, Sidekick doesn't have anything to reference to. So let's just, if I can just double check that with the CoSoft guys.
Perfect. That's all. No other questions at the moment, unless anyone else has got something they want to ask that they haven't yet typed in.
Don't be shy.
Oh, never.
Tom said he wants a really difficult question on this. He never gets any difficult ones.
No, I only have difficult questions. I only have nice partners, so that's a good balance for me.
Perfect.
All our partners are nice, Tom.
Exactly. Excellent. Right. Well, it doesn't look like there is any more.
Nobody's typing, so.
Excellent. Okay, we'll wrap it up there.
Oh,
we got another one.
Oh, Liam.
Additional PCI measures to counteract recordings. Not entirely sure I'm following that question, Liam. Can you give us a bit more detail? Okay, so, yes, so PCI compliant.
I guess what I'd probably say to Andy, I guess, is the whole notion of having card details perhaps transcribed, something like that. Liam, is that what you you're referencing?
I guess if that is where we're going with that, then the obvious response to that would be we have a PCI compliant product in the portfolio. So I would be conscious of that when talking to customers if they're already deployed and live. Yeah, exactly, Tom. If calls are being recorded and card details are being given over the phone, then that would be an issue for call recording anyway. But then it's going to be a double issue if you're also transcribing that information as well. So I would potentially look at the PCI product route if that's a new customer. If it's not, then there's probably a deeper conversation to be had there. I think Malcolm, I think that's sort of a follow on. Absolutely, we'll double check that, but based on the answer to the 3 months piece will depend on whether we're keeping the voice. I'm pretty sure that the answer to that is no,
Yes.
but we'll come back and confirm that. Will Sidekick be able to integrate with other apps in Connect, for example? Yeah, so I think Ryan, I probably did a bad job there of talking around that, but we've already got opportunities where customers are looking to do either an integration to an existing product, what we've got like HubSpot, for example, or they have a new CRM that we haven't worked with before, but the request is they really like what Sidekick's doing. Can we pull that transcription and analysis back into the CRM? So that's the kind of thing we're looking at the moment, and we've got a couple of opportunities open for that. Again, it's very easy for me to sit here and just say yes, but the point is, if there's an opportunity for that, let's get that conversation going. Let's talk about, what is the CRM they're looking to integrate to, what are the requirements, and then we can confirm that back with the CoSoft guys. But certainly it's within the sphere of capabilities of the product. We just need to look at the particular situation.
Right. Any more for any more?
I'd just like to say well done, Tom, because I know you got up super early this morning and you're looking absolutely bright as a button. So
anything for a partner webinar. No, thank you, Andy. I appreciate you co-hosting, and thank you everyone for attending. Any follow-up questions, obviously reach out to myself or any of the other account managers, or you've got Andy as a resource as well for anything roadmappy, and obviously follow up with all the good content and the good roadmap elements that we're coming in the next few weeks and months.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Speak soon.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye now.